All right, here we go. Another drive. It is 12.6.1 FSD. Trying some of the areas we tried before and seeing how things are handled. As you can tell, there's pretty significant sun glare here on top of some wind. It's okay turn. And I also have my sunglasses on. So that's a thing that I always try and test as well, making sure that FSD is picking me up. Right now it says attention monitoring unavailable, so that's a clear-cut sign there. And now it makes me kind of not at the wheel, so I will take these off. Not a big deal for me. I think it would be nice, and they're not real dark glasses, but it would be nice for that to work. Now attention monitoring is active again, essentially meaning that I won't have to nudge on the steering wheel, if at all. For those new, that was a big thing several years ago where you'd have to nudge every 15, 20 seconds or so. I think that's still a thing with autopilot, I believe. I don't know. But yeah, with FSD now and utilizing the cabin camera, I mean, you all can see the videos. The only time I would have to nudge is if I wasn't genuinely paying attention, if I was looking at something for too long. Other than that, there's no nudging whatsoever. It's tracking my eyes. So super cool. Okay, coming up on this merge into this neighborhood, and I want to pay attention to something from another person that commented. And let's see, there was some water out here the other day, and it almost looked like FSD was trying to dodge it, maybe like if it was an obstacle. It didn't happen in that same spot. So for that individual, you were right. I think it was acting as if FSD was trying to avoid that spot. So good call out. But this is a 2-lane one-way area. We're coming up on a roundabout. So always interesting to see how roundabouts are handled. Roundabouts come in different shapes and sizes. So just making sure turns are accurate. They're wide enough to where the turn seems natural, which that turn was. See this one, that was as well. So not bad on that. Okay. So still trying to respect the speed limit. We're in a 25 going 34 right now. It doesn't feel like 34. I know there's someone behind us. So we'll see. They're about to pass us, which is crazy to think. So now the speed limit is 35. So we're right on par. So by the way, my FSD is in hurry mode, so there'll be more lane changes than the standard FSD profile. So we'll see how that interacts. Now, again, I'm coming from 12.6. That was kind of, I won't say more so exclusive, but it initially, rolled out for Model S and X vehicles first. I don't know if any Model Ys or 3s received 12.6, but now then just recently we received 12.6.1, which I believe then Model Ys and Model 3s were all kind of utilizing 12.6.1 if, of course, you have a hardware 3 vehicle. So nothing too drastic from my perspective so far between this and 12.6. Okay, made that turn. Again, there's a lot of construction over here, so I typically give grace to FSD because it's, even for humans, it's there's a lot of undefined areas and roads and lanes. So again, giving FSD that grace, but also making sure that I'm aware and ready to take over at any point. Okay, so right now we are starting to pick up speed because we're at a 50 speed limit. It's starting to recognize the flow of traffic. Again, that's a big piece that I was always looking forward to in previous builds and recognizing the flow of traffic, right? The speed limit out here is 50. So right now we're doing 62, which again, the hurry mode adds 40% auto offset. That's what I have set for that profile. But it's not out of the norm. I'm not speed racer, but I'm just keeping up with the flow of traffic. Okay, so on our map, it looks like there's various construction going on. There are some back roads to be taken in this area. I think that's one of the things that would be a nice to have, is a couple more routes that you can press on the map here in order to redirect. Because it's, right now we're going through this large portion of construction. Get me for not paying attention. Well, we could go this back way or something like that. So definitely be nice to have. I may even disengage for the sake of time, because yeah, I truly don't know what any of that means. It doesn't look good. So if anything, I would have tried to get in that other lane, but we'll see. Okay. So from here, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad. So may have just been congested earlier. I can see it's pretty clear up front, so we'll just keep it as is. Trying out a different camera angle as well. I noticed I was editing and one of the kids, I don't know who, adjusted a setting on the camera itself. So last couple of videos were not typical of the angle and width that I was used to. So we changed that back, added a mic, hopefully a better mic that you all can hear me more clear, kind of block out some of that wind noise. Okay. And we are off. Now, as mentioned before, all these areas, there's just a lot of growth in the area. So there's a lot more construction, which means you have to be ever so vigilant to be on par to take over at any time, because things change so often. Humans don't pay attention, which then in return means that we have to react to certain things quicker than expected. which from my perspective, again, FSD's done a great job. There's been situations that I haven't seen that it's either braked or chose a different lane. So definitely steps in the right direction, but that never means that, you shouldn't also be paying attention and assert yourself into the driving situation. Sorry about that. The other phone making a strange noise. Okay. All right. So back in the groove. So not as much traffic as it initially said on the screen, but still decent amount. It's as I'm filming this, it's Saturday, so everyone's running their errands, things like that. This one was a pretty much a straight line drive, nothing too difficult or aggressive. It's really just me comparing this latest build with previous builds and seeing, or if I'm noticing anything out of the norm. If anything, certain right-hand turns, it is, I won't say it's getting too close to the curb, but I feel like it's recognizing that it didn't make a wide enough turn and is kind of jerking to course correct, which it was fairly smooth in previous builds. So that's my initial thoughts. Other than that, I feel like it's definite improvement over overall over the 12.5.4.2 build. That's kind of the one we had for the longest if you're a hardware 3. Walmart's also putting charge stations, which is interesting. So I don't know if that's for everybody, but that's interesting. It's attempting to pull into a charge station. I don't know what it's trying to do there, but appreciate the views, comments, and such. We'll have part 2 here soon, and we'll go from there. All right. Have a good one.